And we're coming down the final stretch of the 2013 NFL season. We're down to the last quarter of the season. This season is moving by so fast. We're starting to really get the playoff picture.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe it. It just seems like yesterday was week one.
I agree. It seemed like last week, really, we were talking about the off season and how close we were to the start of the season, who would be good and who wouldn't. And I mean, at this point in the season, there are so many weeks already in the books that it's almost playoff season.
Well, let's talk about a team that for the first 3 quarters of the season was just completely awful, and have now they're still bad, but they've started to turn their season around a little bit.
3 wins out of the last 4 games.
That's impressive. Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting the Houston Texans this week, and what did you say earlier? Combined 5-19.
5-19. I'll tell you what, this is the Thursday night game. Of course, I said this last year and I said it this year. The Thursday night games are never between 2 teams that just blow your mind usually, but usually they turn out to be pretty competitive and pretty entertaining games.
I agree, but it's this.
I think this is going to be a competitive, entertaining game. It's going to be against 2 of the bottom feeders in the NFL, and you usually get a decent game when you get 2 teams that are evenly matched like this. I'm going to go with the Jaguars at home. They're winners of 3 of their last 4, and I've actually been playing decent football lately.
And Chad Henne is no, I can't say that. But Chad Henne's actually playing really good football.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of the ball, Case Keenum's not playing bad football. He's not great, guys. But he does look like the quarterback of the future for Texans.
Agreed.
Because I don't think Matt Shaw deserves that job when he comes back.
No.
I'm taking Jacksonville at home as well. The Sunday games. Let's start with Indy, who has struggled the past 4 weeks straight.
Indeed, yeah.
And then Cincinnati. These 2 teams firmly 3 or 4 weeks ago were in the playoffs.
You're trying to figure out at this point of the season what these teams are going to be. A few weekends ago you said, okay, these could be contenders in the AFC, and now you're kind of looking at it saying that I'm not really sure because of the past weeks they've had, the past games they've had, the past few weeks, they really have struggled, and they haven't looked that good, and this is kind of a game that either team could take as a statement game.
Cincinnati's favored in this game. I'm actually going to take Cincinnati at home because I think that the Colts just seem to get down in the first half, and they just can't recover. So, against the Cincinnati defense, I really don't think the Colts are going to sustain it.
I agree with you. I'm going to take the Colts.
Wow, you're actually getting off Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. I think the Colts season really fell apart when they lost Reggie Wayne. That was Andrew Luck's, safety blanket. That's his wide receiver. That was his go-to guy. Once they lost him, I think they kind of lost their chance of a Super Bowl. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one.
Let's talk about another player that was lost, and there's actually been a lot of talk out of Wisconsin about just setting him down for the season. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers has been injured. He had a broken collarbone. Falcons are going up to Green Bay actually after their first win in 5-6 weeks.
How'd that feel? I'm really surprised they beat the Bills, honestly.
But the other thing is, and the question is, should Aaron Rodgers play? They've already been eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep.
You've got $100 million basically in Aaron Rodgers right now. Do you really want to just make it worse, throw him out there?
Well, seeing as I'm out of the playoffs in our fantasy league and I have Rodgers on my IR, then I could care less if he plays ever again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, but if I was the Packers, you're out of the playoffs. The rest of the season doesn't matter. Rest Aaron Rodgers. Make sure he's ready to go next year along with Randall Cobb and have another run at it.
Okay, but flip side. Falcons are in the same boat. Granted, Matt Ryan's healthy.
Right.
But, there's no chance they're going to win.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan's not hurt. And, Matt Ryan's not a quarterback that's going to be replaced anytime soon. So if you're the Falcons, you really don't have a choice but to go out there and try to win. And if you do go out there and try to win and you do end up winning, it's going to kind of hurt you down the road because instead of having a top 5 pick, you might have like a middle of the pack pick, and you might just get decent players.
That's kind of what I'm worried about right now. Me being a Falcons fan, I want the Falcons to win. I really do. But this year has already been scrapped. Yep. It's clear.
Yep.
I'd sit them. And let me just tell you why. Bring up Dominic Davis. He's our backup quarterback in Atlanta right now. Bring him up.
Right.
Let him get some valuable game time. So when, God forbid, Matt Ryan does get injured, we actually have a valuable backup.
doing that is giving up on the season, even though
The
secretly,
season is over.
even though we know that, you know that, the coaching staff knows that, the players know that, you never admit that, ever.
Green Bay
Ever,
wins
ever,
this
ever.
one at home.
I agree. Yep.
Cleveland Browns at the Patriots.
Patriots are going to take this. Patriots look like a different team now that Gronkowski's back. They look like a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Early on in the season, I was kind of doubting Brady and his accuracy and his functionality with that wide receiving core. They've stepped it up the second half of the season, and they are a legit AFC championship contenders right now.
I don't know if they're AFC championship contenders because I really think that Denver can beat them. I really do. But, here's the thing. Patriots have to get their defense figured out. Their defense is not 100%. It hasn't been all season. I think their defense was probably middle of the pack. But when you've got Tom Brady, you can always just go for it. I mean, look at it. It's 31st in rushing yards against. And you're going up against a Cleveland team that has actually had a really good run at it, considering
After
you lose Trent Richardson, and all of a sudden, wow, there's a run game.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
On the flip side, I'm taking Patriots at home.
I'm also taking the Patriots at home. Cleveland Browns have actually been playing better football since they got
absolutely.
rid of Trent Richardson, which I don't understand, but they're not going to beat the Patriots at home.
Raiders at the Jets, and
who cares? I
got a coin?
Yeah, really. Is Matt McGroin going to start again?
From what I understand, McGloin is starting, and Geno Smith is also starting. It was announced earlier this week.
Yippee.
Big freaking whoop.
Yeah, Jets losers 4 of their last 5. Oh, it doesn't matter. Jets are going to win this one because they're at home. That's pretty much it. Nobody cares about this game.
I'm going to take Coachland on the road.
Really? You're going to take Matt McGloin?
I think Matt McGloin actually has a breakout game. Their run game or their run defense on the Jets are fantastic. It's number 1 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, they're not as great against the pass. So I really am going to take Matt McGloin throwing for a couple touchdowns.
On the bright side this year for the Jets, you have not had a butt fumble yet.
True story. Mm-hmm. But the key word is yet.
Yet.
Lions at Eagles.
Okay,
let's look at this logically here. Okay.
Toughie.
Okay, Nick Foles is having a fantastic season.
Agreed.
He's thrown for 19 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yep.
On the flip side, Matt Stafford is having a really good season as well.
Yep.
That offense is starting to really kick in. With Calvin Johnson,
phenomenal.
And when you actually have Reggie Bush as just an alternate. Because you have Joique Bell that is going to just be your bruiser back.
Yep.
If you have just Reggie Bush either in the slot or just coming out of the backfield,
and you double,
it's scary.
You double Calvin Johnson for the Lions. They have Chris Durham right there to catch some more balls. They have Reggie Bush coming out of the backfield. There's a lot of offensive weapons on that Lions squad. I do not think they win this game though. I think Philadelphia takes it. Philadelphia is in the hunt for a playoff spot and a championship for their division. I guess you really want to call it a championship, would you? NFC East champions, I guess, instead of
NFC
a championship.
Division leaders?
Yeah. Division champion? I don't know. They're in the hunt to win that division.
So is Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit on the road. I really think their defense gets to Foles. I think Fairley is actually going to have a sack and a half. I'm going to say a sack and a half. And we'll see. But I'm going to take Detroit on the road.
All right.
And you're moving too fast there, bro. Miami at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, after the $100,000 fine from Coach Mike Tomlin,
a
draft pick forfeited. They're at home against the Dolphins that are kind of reeling right now. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I think their offense is starting to get better. Their defense is definitely starting to get better. I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh at home. It's late in the season. Ben Roethlisberger, home. Steelers.
Bills at Buccaneers.
I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Me too.
I'll tell you what, the Buccaneers have been rolling as of lately.
Yes.
They haven't looked like the Buccaneers that started off 0-35 this season, I believe, with their record. But they're winners. 3 of their last 4, and the last loss came against the Carolina Panthers, who, in my opinion, I think are going to win the NFC South. So that's not a bad loss. Mike Glennon's playing well. Bobby Rainey has stepped up big time. in the loss of their running backs. I like what the Buccaneers are doing down there. Darrelle Revis has come back and played very well. I'm going to take the Buccaneers on this game.
They've got 3 wins this year. I'm looking ahead to their final 4 games. I really think they'll win probably 2 of them in Buffalo and at St. Louis. I think they're going to lose to San Francisco, and I think they're going to lose to New Orleans in the season finale.
San Francisco needs to be careful next week when they play the Buccaneers. That could be a trap game for them.
It is at home, but
for the Buccaneers.
For the Buccaneers, yes. I agree, but I really believe they'll finish with 5 wins.
Yep.
But I'm going to take Buffalo or Tampa Bay this week.
I think 5 wins. If you told a Buccaneers fan after the start they got off to that they would finish with 5 wins, I think they'd be happy.
I'm sure Matt would be extremely happy with that. Chiefs reeling, losers of 3 straight. Redskins, on the other hand, I'm
also reeling.
Yeah, well, the Redskins are awful,
and they kind of get screwed.
They did kind of get screwed, but I'm going to take Kansas City on the road.
Really?
Yes, I am. I don't think the Redskins defense has enough to stop the just dunk that Alex Smith is going to throw at you. And plus, RG3 is playing better football right now. I just don't think it's going to work out for the Kansas City or against the Kansas City defense.
I'm going to take. I think I've done this 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I'm going to take RG3 and the Washington Redskins this week. I think RG3 gets it back on track. If he doesn't, why the hell don't you put Kirk Cousins in? But whatever. RG3 is kind of their franchise quarterback, kind of their baby, their poster boy. I semi-understand it. I'm going to take the Washington Redskins at home in this one because the Chiefs have screwed me 2 out of the last 3 weeks. So,
well, you've picked them against Denver.
Yeah.
2 out of the last 3 weeks.
I know, but the reason I picked them against Denver was a sound reason.
Okay, and they lost by a total of 17 points between the 2 games.
Alex Smith is a jackass.
Vikings at the Ravens. I'm actually going to take the Ravens at home. I think the Vikings are just pitiful as far as offense is concerned. Congratulations to Adrian Peterson crossing the 10,000-yard mark. That's impressive, especially being, the 3rd youngest to reach that mark.
Yeah. Matt Ryan's still waiting to do that passing.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. I'm going to take Ravens at home.
I'm going to take Ravens at home as well. The Vikings do a lot wrong. Adrian Peterson's the one thing they do right, but I think the Baltimore Ravens are built to stop the run. I'll take the defending world champions at home on this one. Not a lot of good matchups this week.
Titans at Broncos, and this game, I'm sure Bryce is picking the Titans because the Titans are going to get to Peyton Manning early and often. And oh no,
jerk.
Broncos win this one big.
My reasoning for picking the Chiefs was a sound reasoning.
Rams at Cardinals. This game is. I'm taking Cardinals at home. Cardinals are playing phenomenal football right now. The Rams are not.
Agreed.
So I'm going to take the Cardinals at home. I think the Cardinals offense, Larry Fitzgerald has gotten 4 touchdowns, I believe, in the past 2 weeks. It's either 3 or 4, I can't remember. And they're going up against, the past 2 weeks they've played Indianapolis and Philadelphia, 2 pretty decent defenses. So I'm going to take Arizona at home.
I'm taking Arizona at home as well because the one thing St. Louis Rams do well is rush. Zach Stacy and Tavon Austin, when they get him out of the backfield, they're really good at running the ball. And Arizona is terrific at stopping the run.
The question is, can Arizona sneak into a wild card spot?
Oh.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah. I would say, just looking ahead at their schedule, the way it's set up, no. They still have Seattle left. They have to go to Seattle. And they still have the 49ers at home. I do not see them sneaking into a wild card spot.
Okay. Giants at Chargers.
Who cares?
Fair, but
Chargers. I never take an East Coast team when they go over to the West. I never take a West Coast team when they go to the East.
I'm taking
That's
the Chargers.
called a rule of thumb.
I'm going to take the Chargers. They're only favored by 3 in this game, but I think they'll actually win by probably 10.
I think it's going to be a double-digit win for the Chargers. On an odd note, do you know what the rule of thumb, how it came to be?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Seahawks at 49ers. This game is going to be the game of the week. Seahawks are playing really, really, really good football. 49ers, on the other hand, are playing really good football.
Yeah, the Seahawks are playing really, really good football, and the 49ers are playing
That's what I said.
good football.
That's what I said.
The 49ers are playing okay football.
Yeah. But that's
okay football.
Unfortunately for Daniel, I believe that the 49ers are actually going to end up being one of the wild card spots if they play out their schedule right, because their schedule does get easier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the rest of the schedule. Seattle at Tampa Bay, home against Atlanta.
That's a win.
That's a win. Yeah. And at Arizona.
That's only one guaranteed win on that schedule. Mm-hmm. And that's home against
Atlanta.
The Falcons, yeah. You have to travel to the East Coast, play the Buccaneers, who are
Which, by the way, is the last game in Candlestick Park.
Really?
Yes. Well, I mean,
I don't care.
And it's the last Monday night game in Candlestick Park and the last night game in San Francisco a year.
They should reenact the way the first Monday night game was when you watched and have it lit by torchlight. That was how the first NFL game was, right?
Yeah.
All the lights were on fire.
Yeah.
No electricity.
You picked the Broncos to win, right?
Shut up.
Oh, okay. Anyway, if you guys hadn't heard, Candlestick Park is being demolished. Well, I think it's being demolished. They're moving into a new stadium in Santa Clara next year. But next year, they're not going to have a single night game.
Not one. Lights?
They're going to see what they announced. They're going to see how the traffic is around the stadium before they make up a night game. Yeah.
Do you not go over these things before you decide?
They were thinking ahead.
No, they weren't. They obviously were not thinking ahead. If they can't predict the traffic situations during a game time at night, that's horrible. How do you...
I'm taking Seattle at home. They're going to end up with the number 1 seed overall in the NFC. They'll probably have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which means bad things for the NFC. Seattle may be the NFC champion this year. I really believe that they have the shot. Considering if they have home field advantage, Russell Wilson has not lost it. Oh, what you eating there?
My words.
Oh,
from
earlier when you said that they're overrated.
Yep. Those are my words I'm eating. I could not be more wrong about the Seattle Seahawks this year. I honestly thought they were overrated. And about halfway through the season, I still thought that. The past few weeks...
Halfway through the season? No.
Well,
it was two weeks ago. You still thought they were overrated.
True story. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. But they're not. So I was wrong. I was dead wrong.
They're top 10 in defense. They're doing really well on offense right now. Mm-hmm. And actually, Russell Wilson is doing better as far as passing the ball lately than he has earlier in the season. So that dimension is added. And, yeah, it tastes bad, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Those don't taste good.
I'm taking Seattle. They're going to clinch the home field advantage early this season.
I agree with you. I think Seattle goes to the Super Bowl, and they face the Patriots.
Panthers at the Saints. Saints coming off that embarrassing loss last Sunday. I mean, they just got throttled on Monday night.
Yeah, throttled was the word I was going to use.
That's throttled.
Yeah.
And Carolina is playing good football right now. They're winners of their last 7, 8.
Sate. They're winners of the last 8 games.
Yeah, I don't speak properly.
I am don't numbers.
This is for the NFC South crown, in my opinion.
Some oxygen in the room for the rest of us. I agree. This is for the NFC South crown. I think
they have to face.
I don't know.
Carolina has to face the Saints the next two of the next 3 weeks.
Yep. 4,
3. But move on. New Orleans is at home. I'm going to take New Orleans just simply because I think New Orleans will actually win this game at home. Okay. They're so much better at home than they are on the road. The splits are unreal if you look at it.
They haven't lost at home yet this year.
They haven't lost at home. Drew Brees' QBR is about 20 points higher at home than it is on the road. I'm taking New Orleans at home. Not so fast.
Take all those stats.
Toss it. All right.
Cam Newton goes in New Orleans. Gives them their first loss this weekend. I'm calling it. Yes, I am. Just like I called the Kansas City game last week. No, I really think Carolina is the better team.
Don't get me wrong. I think the Carolina is the better team right now, but
New Orleans
at home
in the Dome at home. It's going to be a Sunday night game. You know how that town gets.
Yeah,
at night games. Are you from Canada? Yeah. We go down to the Dome there.
Watching a lot of hockey, dude.
We'll watch the Saints there. Yeah. They play in a dome, so there's no snow.
Can you stop?
Know?
We need to entertain the people.
I am entertaining.
Truly.
My voices. I think Carolina does go in and take care of business. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a last-second field goal missed return for a touchdown to win the game.
Auburn. Thank you, Auburn, by the way.
Yeah, indeed.
The Monday night game, Cowboys at the Bears. By the way, guys, there's no more buys the rest of the week, the rest of the way out. So everybody is playing every week.
Everybody loves everybody.
Cowboys,
Plays everybody.
Cowboys at Bears. Bears are still without Jay Cutler. Yep. McCown has actually been playing decent football.
Playing very good
football. On
the
other end, Tony Romo, and you just read a great article on
Fantastic article.
Romo talking about everyone wants to talk about how Romo falls apart in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Not so fast. You should really check out SI's article on Tony Romo
Statistically,
from 2 weeks ago.
One of the best quarterbacks in the fourth quarter in NFL history.
It's unreal. I'm going to take Tony Romo against the Chicago Bears defense. I think the defense will get a pick, at least one, but I think it's going to be early.
I think from an analysis standpoint, that is a sound pick because of what we've seen, capability of the Cowboys wise, and kind of how the Bears are trending. Mm-hmm. As a Cowboys fan, I can guarantee you we will not win this game.
Guarantee.
How
come?
It's a letdown game. If you look at the trend, the Cowboys this year, win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. Win two, lose one. Lose two, win one. It's back and forth. We don't go on rolls. We're not going to have a 3-game win streak. I can guarantee it. It's a big night. It's a Monday night. Tony Romo is going to throw one interception in the fourth quarter when he has no other option but to throw it long because they're down by 6, 5, 7 points. And everybody's going to blame him for choking again in the fourth quarter when he had no other option but to do that. Cowboys lose.
See, and I'm just looking ahead also. I'm thinking Cowboys have to beat Chicago.
Yep.
Then they have to go, or they're back home against Green Bay, which is probably
we'll win that one.
Maybe with Aaron Rodgers, depending on how he decides to play. Then you go on the road to Washington.
We'll lose that one.
Then you are at home against Philadelphia for the crown.
We will lose that one.
So you're thinking you're going to lose 3 of the next 4.
Yep.
How do you live with that as a Cowboys fan?
Jerry Jones is our owner, and I'm used to it. I mean, that's the plain and simple. Yeah. I say we lose 3 out of the next 4 games, and we miss the playoff by 1 game again.
That's it for our Week 14 recap, preview. Be sure to check back next week as we look ahead to Week 15 and more people just dropping from the playoff contention. For Bryce, I'm Billy. Thanks, guys, for watching.